Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Agora Alien Xenomorph Pack 41, which is more of the right leg. I have what we did in Pack 40 right here, minus the skin, and this was way back in. Let me see what it says in the instruction. I think it says stage 24 was last time we worked on this. Let me go ahead and get the parts out of the bag and we'll get started on this. And in the bag this time we have a variety of different parts. We have, this is the thigh protector, and I have seen some pretty, I'm not going to say serious, but some issues with this coming apart, the super glue coming undone. I'm just looking, there's pin there, a couple of holes there. This is actually going to go together like this, and this was the start of where problems occur on the model. Zip ties should take care of this. Zip ties and some sort of rubberized super glue. The key thing is, for me, is that when I get it in place, once I have the Xenomorph complete, you don't ever move the legs again, because otherwise you're going to be repairing that skin. Bag with other parts. Noisy. I know the bags are noisy. It's like a Lego set. So inside this smaller bag, we have some metal plates. You heard them there clink. These, I want to see, these look like they go together like that. Looks like they're going to actually be screwed onto something. Grab the X-Acto knife, not the chisel blade. We have some black screws, which are going into plastic. And they're actually different from most of the black screws in that they have a flange on them. These look like your normal black screws we get whenever we are dealing with plastic. Whenever we're dealing with screws that go into plastic. We go ahead and put those in there. And then we have another long screw, similar to the ones from last stage, a long screw with a nut. So at this point, we have a nut behind the camera and a nut in front of the camera. Sorry, little joke. Okay. So you take this part here, and you take this metal piece here that is not glued or attached. Glued, it just sits in there. I think that's all any of these do is they just sit in there. What they do is they hold these pieces down, and this side is not stitched together. I will stitch it together when we put it back on. Played with it a little bit. There are holes and pins. Hopefully that will stick together well for me. And then the other side here. So we're taking all the skin off of the, I believe it's the tibia. Or no, it's the calf, sorry. We're setting them aside. And it says to take the plastic, the skin off of here. I don't even have it on. The magnets are all staying in place. This, you got to remember, as I build, I do multiple stages in a sitting, and so these magnets have only been in here for like an hour. And then you have to get the right leg from pack 5. We're getting a lot of the pieces that have been we've been working on over a long time. This part here, you separate the skin as well, and the magnets appear to be staying okay. I may just start using just super glue with them to see how it works out. And so we have a bunch of parts here. The Alien is getting large enough. I may have to reconfigure how I film, because other than moving it up, there's not much I can do in this space. I do have a desk to my left, or to my right, sorry, that I can work on. So I'm looking. Hang on. Huh. Let me pause just a second, because apparently I missed pieces in the paper. Okay, so I've mentioned it before in previous videos that you gotta check these out really well. I thought I had, but I missed these washers. So let me get back to where I was about to be. Okay, so you take these washers, you take this part here. This part is going to be the lower leg. I'm just looking, so it goes on this way. This is going to go on here like this. This part is going to come from this side. Close that glue. I don't think I'll need it. So this will come from this side. These washers go into divots. You can see that that actually fits extremely well in there. And the same on this side. I'm just looking. So this, they've got on the right hand side, the side that I've got it, and then the knee joint here. This is going to go on here like that. This is going to flip around. No wonder it wasn't going to fit. Like that. And line up all the parts. Okay, so it says to drop the nut in on this side, put the nut in, and then the screw. So at this point, we're not really doing anything up the top there. Let's see if I can get that nut to drop down inside there where I need it. And of course not, it wants to fall in there sideways. There we go, down inside. Get the screwdriver, thread that in there. I can actually hold it this time, unlike the last time I did these. That goes actually really deep inside there. Tighten it down. And might be able to do just a little bit more. No, that's as far as it's going to go. It does catch now. So that goes on there like that. Carefully study the knee, diagram joint preparation for the joint seam. There are pegs on this one side of the seam corresponding with holes on the other. Test fitting the parts together, adding a little bit of glue along the green line. Making sure the glue is set fully before moving on to the next instruction. Slide the knee over the sockets and while sliding into position. May need to raise the socket over the screwdriver head. Okay, so it is telling me that what I need to do is glue this first. Have this completely glued and set before I do anything else, which means I'm going to stop the camera here. I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to glue this off screen just to make sure I can get it done. Once it's set, I'm not sure if I want to use CA or B7000. Looking at it, it's going to go on. This is going to be the top, I think. Not 100% sure, but the tendency would be to take this, wrap it around. I mean, that's what I was thinking was going to be the way you do it. Take this, you wrap it around here. Now, I may actually do it that way. Not sure yet. You wrap it around here. You have line up the holes here with these posts. Matching posts are on the other side. And then once you have it on here, you glue it. But what they're saying, let me reread it again. Let's see, preparations. There are pegs on one side, the seam corresponding holes on the other. After testing, fitting the parts together, add a little glue along the join line, the green line in the set diagram. Firmly secure the two sides together. Make sure the glue has fully set before moving on to the next instruction. Next, slide the knee, this part here, over the middle part of the leg so that the raised sockets align with the holes. While sliding into position, the end of the knee may need to be lifted over the raised sockets with a screwdriver or similar. So I don't know why they're doing it this way. Actually, I do, but I'm not sure how well this is going to work out. I have a feeling this may come apart while I'm trying to put it on there because super glue is very fragile. And that is understandable why people have done it the way they have, which is put it on here, zip tie it, and then glue it. I'm going to try doing it the way they say, and I'm going to see how it works out. I'm going to use the B7000. Let me just take a look. Waterproof. It says strong strength. I'm going to try and do it with the B7000 and see how it works. B7000 unfortunately has a 24-hour cure time. So I know these will fit. And once they fit, once they're on here, there is a little bit of stretching needed to get this to go completely together. But it does actually, with a little effort, it will fit. Hopefully, I'm doing this the right direction. Just looking at it, and it does go over completely. It will seal up. It may be a little bit tricky. I wonder. Let me just make sure. I think it's right, but let me pop it off just to see. If the top closes up easier, then I know I had it on backwards or upside down, actually. And that's why you dry fit it first. You need to figure out which side is the top. This is definitely not the top because this pin is in. This pin right there is in. This pin is right here, very far away from the hole. Come on, focus. There we go. The pin's here. That hole is there. So it goes this direction. The curve areas are like that. The protuberance for the bone is right there. And easier to really tell is down here. You got your tendons right here. So that's it on this video for right now. I want to pause the camera or stop the camera now. And I will get back to this as soon as I can. It'll be momentarily for you, but I will get it done. And then I will probably, rather than fight with this thing on camera, just to get it in place and get it right, I'll do it off camera and then I'll come back once it's in place and show you how it works. I'll be back. Okay, it has actually been a full week. Work was busy, but I did glue this together and re-looking at the instructions, I may regret gluing this because it only says to glue here and here, but we'll see. So next step on this is you take the leg and the knee covering, and I've looked at this extensively. The bottom here, this is the bottom part of the knee covering, and you slide it up here gently over top of the leg. There are, I think I mentioned the 4 pegs. There are these 4 pegs here that it's going to go over. It says that you may have to lift it over with a screwdriver. It actually appears to be sliding on relatively decently. So far, so good. So let me see if I can. So here's where I may have to use a screwdriver to get it up over that lip right there. I'm not showing it to you right now because I'm looking for where my flathead screwdriver is. A flathead, any flathead screwdriver. That should work. I'm using a very small flathead screwdriver, but I've got to lift it up over here and here. And I just want to get it up over that lip there so I can slide it up. It went on the other side okay. Very carefully. Now I got to lift it up over this peg. And it is a very tight fit. I still wish they'd have done this as a sleeve, but it was probably price constraints. Come on. Gently over top of that. Yes, I am talking to my model. It's a little bit tricky because I cannot see exactly where the post is or what is blocking me because it's underneath the sleeve I've created. I think it should slide a little bit further pretty easily. Okay, I can see here it's almost to where it needs to be. I'm sorry if you can't see this on camera. Oops. I'm trying to get this post here to come out of this hole right here. It is very, okay, there. There's one. There's 2 lined up. Find this 3rd one over here. Where you at, little post? Where you at? Okay, it's over this direction. It's towards me. Come on. There's 3. These are still pretty well lined up. And see, you can see it's deforming both sides to the back. So it is a pretty good, well stretched here. There is the 4th one right there. It's very interesting that these front posts are so far down in there. Because, okay, that's better. I would say that is successful. And not wanting to split this, I'm not going to bend the leg. Not yet. Maybe eventually. but definitely not on camera the first time because it might cause me to say things that would make people blush. So then we take 4 of these flange screws. And we secure this part of the skin onto the leg. And it says not to over tighten them because that's exactly what is going on right there. I'm not going any further than that. You don't want that to pull down inside of the skin. So let me get this side. Let's see if I can do this with just a hair tighter. And then this one over here, I need to see if I can get the skin to stretch a little bit more. And then back here, I need to pull this up a little bit. Like I said, that one seems like it's a little bit far down, but we'll see what we can do here. I would say that is successful. And I'm not going to be facing this side out. So unless I bend the knee, which may break this seam, I think it's good. Actually, oh, look at that. Beautiful. I'm not bending it any further than that, but I do have some bend here. And it's actually, instead of splitting here, it's going to end up splitting here. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm extremely pleased with the way that went together. So going back to the book, I didn't look until just this morning. And what we are doing next is taking the bottom 2 portions here of the leg or the skin. And I didn't realize this, otherwise I'd have done it over the last week, while I was working with the other one, with the knee. Just looking, that is actually really good. That is fantastic because the spot I said I was concerned might split is going to be covered. I'm sorry, I'm off camera. That's going to be covered, but these are supposed to go on now. Here's the problem. They get glued together before they go on. I didn't realize that. I haven't done anything with it, so I'm going to pause the camera again. Try not for it to be several days, but I'm going to pause it again. It's going to be at least 24 hours because I've got to glue this to this, and then I'll come back when I'm putting it on. And what it says in the instructions is to glue each, 2 or 3 pins here. You got the pin, come on, focus. You got the little pins here that line up with these sockets here. Glue 2 or 3 of them, let it dry, come back and do 2 or 3 more until you've got the leg done. It's going to take a little bit of time to get this done. And I'm thinking I think it says to start at the bottom. I think I may end up starting at the top. There are pegs which fit in the corresponding holes. After test fitting the parts, apply a little glue to the pegs contact area. Green lines may until the glue is set. Tip: glue 2 or 3 pegs in place. Allow it to set, and then move on to the next set of pegs. So that's where I'm at. And I do have to say, this actually worked pretty well. I used a combination of the B7000 and the black super glue, which has rubber in it. So far, I think this has worked really well. So this is what I'm going to go forward with. Did not use any regular CA. Don't, as far as I remember. But I did go back multiple times and add more of this stuff just because it seemed like it seemed like the thing that I needed to do to make sure it stayed in place. And the hardest part about this is going to be getting these pushed together long enough for them to stay, because it's going to be really interesting getting clamps down inside of here. I may end up doing a combination. I may do like a little bit of, I may do some of the black CA followed by regular CA and the B7000 just to get everything hooked together to stay in place. So the adventure with the skin continues, and I will not, when I'm doing the other, like, I can't say I won't. We'll see how, whether I do full videos showing everything like this, or if I just do the skin off camera and then say, this is what I did. But here we are for another pause in the video. For you, no time at all. For me, it could be a day or two. So we will catch you in the next segment. Okay, all the sections have been glued together here in the front, and they don't look terrible. I mean, you can see the seam, but there's not much you can do about it. And it's all been done for a couple of days, so let's see if we can clip all these zip ties off and see the result. I am very optimistic. And oh, by the way, these are all, I believe they're 6-inch zip ties on the bottom. I had to use two 8-inch zip ties at the top to get it to hold. And I'm not, I could, but I'm not going to take the skin back off the leg. There's no reason. You can see a couple of the zip ties I actually pulled so tight that I snapped the tail on them. I might end up taking it off. I'm not sure. Actually, that looks really good. So after that, and this is going to be another long, drawn out, time-taking process, because you got to pull the skin tight in here. And notice it does cover this area here. Just pull the skin in tight, and then you put this back on. And this is where it's going to take a little bit of effort, time and effort, because you got to pull this back in. There you go. Get it. Got to pull this in as best you can to get everything sealed right up against this. I'm going to do that off camera. Let's see, this down here is also, this is where it's going to get interesting, because this down here should also be pulled in close. Matter of fact, there's a lip here that should be going under here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that happen. But this, at the same time, this is the back of the leg. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A little bit of effort. A little bit of effort. Put some glue in there, and that'll work out just fine. And then I'll put this on. I'm going to do the rest of this part, the skin, off camera, and if I remember, show it in the next video. If I don't, you will see this again later on after the skin is done. So the last thing to do in this stage, and it has been a monster stage, to be honest, is to come over on this side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws to put in to hold the thigh together. Thigh is still wide open. So let me go ahead and drop some screws in here. And they should, being a magical word, be all lined up because the thigh has been pushed together for quite a while. But so I'm tightening them all the way down. And then as soon as I get done, I'll go back and retighten everything. Hopefully, everything will work out perfect on this. And it is, I will say, it is a bear of a job to get this done. It truly is. But I think with a little bit of effort, and I'm actually working for the second week on this because I haven't gotten a lot of bench time, but taking your time, not 2 weeks probably, but like a couple of days on each leg to do the skin. You know, do an area, let it cure completely, which the black super glue cures in 30 minutes. It's solid in 30 minutes is what it says on the bottle. Full cure in 3 hours. I'm giving it at least 24 hours before I do anything when I'm working on it. But if you give it enough time, while it is a pain, it is a bear to do, I think it'll come out really well. I may hold this video, I may or do an addendum or something just to show how the, let's put it somewhere there is a screw. Actually, there's a screw in there. There isn't a screw in there. But I think it'll come out really well, something that looks really good and doesn't make the alien part work look like it's just thrown together. For $2,000, it should look pretty decent. There's a screw in there. You just got to find the head. These screw holes are so small, it's kind of funky to find the screw head. That one's in. I'm going to tighten the ones I can find. Okay, let me just look. That's actually not bad. What they're gonna have something in here. Something in here. Almost looks like this would be the skin, but it shouldn't be. No, it can't be. But there are indentations in there. So let me try one last time, see if I can find any of these screw heads. If not, we're gonna call it a video. Like I said, this is gonna go on here, and it's gonna be a slow, painstaking process. It says to do one side at a time. I'm not doing one side at a time. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the leg. Do about 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches on both sides at the same time so that everything locks up together tight. Maybe a little bit tricky to get it to fully catch on here, but it'll be there, and it should be good. So, marathon video here. Don't know for sure. Just let me take a look. The other two parts, because this is part 3, it'll all be stitched together. The other two parts are 14, so 15 minutes, 26. Not that bad. About a 35-minute video overall. Liking this build. I really am. I know there are some problems with it. I know it is difficult at times and it takes a lot of effort, but I'm very pleased to see how it's going together. So, like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, Discord. See what we're doing over there. Links will be in the description. We are looking at a couple of new members have shown up. Really good modelers. Hope you enjoy seeing their videos. One of them is Relentless Storm. He's been around. He's been with us for a while, And another one is Aligning the Stars. Both really good modelers. You should check out their channels. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you on the next video.